Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel, scattered abroad, and believers in the Messiah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hidden Manna. Hi, guys. I'm Dave Sain, Senior Shepherd here at LMC. Of course, it's Friday night. Happy Tabernacles to everybody because we are in the midst of the celebration of Tabernacles. If you're out there celebrating Tabernacles this week, happy Tabernacles to you. Of course, we are here, but of course, it's also Shabbat night for us, which means it's time for Hidden Manna, a conversation just to talk about the things of Yah. And of course, to do that, I don't do it by myself. Tonight, I have my dear friend and my son, Pastor Matt. Hey, man, how are you, brother?
I'm doing good. What's going on?
Not too much, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Everything going okay? It's like I haven't seen you
I
in
know.
years, right?
I know. My apologies last few weeks, but we're back to normal. So, I mean, we're continuing our feast days, which is really good.
Oh, you've been busy. You've been busy. You've gotten, so much electronic stuff done at the church and all the services and the music. He's sort of the behind the scenes guy. You see me up in the front, but I can't be up in the front without him in the back there. So thank you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate everything. Of course, we're missing Brother Max tonight.
Yes.
We give a shout out to him. He is under the weather tonight. He's been out there each night. Let's see, it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we're going on our fourth day of Tabernacles, and he's been having fellowships every night. And he just got sick, and so he's not able to make it tonight. We pray for you, Brother Max, if you're watching out there. We're sorry for how you're feeling, but we look forward to having a conversation with you next week. But thank you for being here with me tonight, brother. I sincerely appreciate it.
It's going to be a good one. Good one. I'm really excited. I mean, honestly, even just celebrating Tabernacles just the other day with us, what a joyous time. It was a lot of fun.
It's been great. It's been neat seeing the pictures that people are posting on the LM app of the different celebrations and things that people are doing.
Plug that in. If you guys have not, go into the LM app on the top right-hand side. You see like a little picture of like a text message. Click that icon, which I'm probably going to be changing stuff around to make it a little bit easier for you guys. But join the chats. I know we do have a large amount of you guys on it. I know sometimes it kind of pings you guys during work or what's going on throughout the day, but definitely jump back on as soon as you guys get back home. There's so many pictures constantly going out there, and also prayer requests and praise reports. Those are also very, very good.
Yeah. I think Brother Max is on there. He's saying, I'm sick from the smoke around the fires. I'm so sorry, brother. I really am. Truly. Yeah. We miss you, brother, but heal up, get better. We'll see you. We'll have you back here next week.
Yep.
So we're in the midst of Tabernacles. We're on our Shabbat Eve. So that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, beginning to Saturday, the fourth day. This goes all the way up to Tuesday, and of course Wednesday is the 8th day. That's our Simchat Torah, the rejoicing in the Torah. We had a service on Wednesday. And we're going to have another one this upcoming Wednesday. Service was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. The worship was great. The music was phenomenal. The prayer, the praise. We had a great time. I know we didn't broadcast it. It's hard to do that because sometimes with all the copyright stuff on YouTube, there's certain songs we can do, we can't do. So we didn't broadcast, but we really had a phenomenal time. Lots of people came out. Great time of worship and praise. And this upcoming Wednesday, some similar stuff. We're going to do more of a prayer service,
yes,
but also a blowing of the shofar. Not necessarily the literal blowing of the shofar, but we're going to talk about some things to pray about. We're going to like the watchman on the wall blowing the shofar, letting you know the enemy is coming, war is coming, and we're going to point out some things that we really need to have our eyes on as believers. If in fact, let's say I believe it's true, but I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt here. Let's just say the Zadok calendar is true. I think it is. It seems from everything I've studied about it, all the history, all the background of it, it seems legit. If it is, let's just assume for a second that it is. This upcoming spring, we are entering into the last jubilee of this age. If that's true, right? If it's true, which means, man, we're close.
It's getting closer.
We're getting close, which also means if we're close, right? Let's just think about this from a practical perspective. the closer you get to an event, whatever event it is, like
Mhm.
let's just say you're planning a party, whatever it is, right? The closer you get to it, the more concrete the plans get. You realize, okay, now I got to do this, and this is happening. Okay, now I can see this. This becomes clear, and I think the same thing is going to happen to us. The closer we get, a lot of those questions that we've had for 1,500 years or more are going to begin to become more clear,
Yep. I
and
believe
we're
that.
we're gonna we're gonna begin to be able to identify what the dragon looks like in our age. Um, Obviously, what the assembly looks like in our age, prophecies, what they actually mean in our age, because now we have the benefit of all of history behind us, and we can line up prophecy to history and see if it lines up, and if it does line up, say, oh my goodness, wait a minute, we're that close. Now, I'm not saying it's tomorrow, but if this is the last jubilee, the last 50 years of this age, when Messiah came the first time, he didn't come at the end of the age, like the last 3 years of the end of the. He came a jubilee, actually 7 years into the last jubilee, before the end of the jubilee. So who knows what's going to happen?
There's a lot of things coming up, man. It's just,
Possibly.
but you know what? Even if things happen, this is your time. This is really the time. Like
This is the time.
it's hitting the fan. It's hitting the fan hard.
It is. It is all over
So
the world. So we're going to do a
yeah,
whole sort of. We're going to call out some
yeah,
prophecies, call out some things that we've got to pay attention to, things that are going on,
yeah,
not just from a political perspective in our own government, but globally, what's going
yeah.
on
We're
all
gonna
over the world.
we're gonna talk about a lot of things during the prayer service, but we want to take time to pray with the church
Yeah,
and address things for the church family. Again, even people who are watching online that are part of our church, of course, you guys are with us, of course. But we want to make sure we're uplifting the things that we want to do in this house. We want Father to do in this house, and just be ready. We're gonna really everyone's going to use their voice that day. It
yeah.
is important to be able to lift up your voice and let him hear you and let him hear you speak and ask for these things and to do these things what he has commanded us to do.
Listen, I'm praying. I'm praying for a harvest. I really am.
Yeah.
I'm praying that more people open up their eyes, begin to
Yep.
understand, not just for the sake for us to grow numerically, but that's
No.
cool. I'm fine.
Well, listen,
That's a great thing. I
it's
got no problem with
awesome.
that.
It's cool to get more people to understand what Father's, mission is for us. There's nothing against that I have.
No, no, no. But I do want us to grow for sure. I'd love for Abba to open up the doors for more people to come
Yeah.
and to understand. So if you believe with us, if you have that same prayer, even if you're not physically here with LMC every Shabbat, but you're following us online, you're part of our extended family. Because listen, a lot of people are not close enough to come
True.
week after week. Pray with us that Yah would give us favor, that Yah would allow this message to go out, that we would reach more people, both in our area and certainly abroad as well, and just globally,
Yeah.
that the message of Messiah would go out and people would begin to understand wherever their beginning is. At this point, you know what? I'm not gonna split hairs. I'm not gonna fight with people over names and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Understand who Messiah is.
Yep.
Know that he died for your sins, that he died and he rose again. Start there.
Yeah.
Start there. Be
Amen.
open to his spirit, and then let him lead you where he leads you.
Exactly.
So that's me. That's me. That's sort of where I stand on the whole thing.
But it's going to be a good service. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it too. Of course, Saturday we're going to have our Shabbat service. We're going
Yep.
to talk. We're going to talk about the feast days. We're going to
Yep.
do a little prophecy of the teacher of righteousness and how that fits into all of this season. Because people ask, should we do the feast days,
Yeah.
or should
Saying that.
we not do the? And of course, you've got the people on the one side say no, we shouldn't do the feast days, and you got the people on the other side say yes, we should do the feast days. In all, and I've said this, I don't know, maybe I don't know how many times I've said this over the years. We're not doing the feast days the way the letter of the law describes for the feast days to be done. We're not going to Jerusalem. We're not.
Mhm.
There's no temple. We can't. But these are also memorials. These are also lessons. These are
Mhm.
also they're teachings. They're prophecies, and especially if we are where we think we are, These are things we need to understand. And in the memorials, while we may not be going to Jerusalem to set up tabernacles, we can't because there's no temple there. That doesn't mean you can't set one up in your backyard and teach your children. We're doing this because this is what Yah said in his word. This is what
Yeah,
ancient Israel did. This
exactly.
is what it means. This is the teaching of it. And it speaks of what is to come.
Mm.
So, in that respect, and certainly also because, even Moses says in the last days, his people, we're going to open up our eyes and we're going to turn back to the Torah. We're going to go back to the instruction. We say Torah, everybody thinks Jewish law. No, we're going to go back to what the instruction of Moses was, what the instruction of Messiah was, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So, I acknowledge 100% that we're not doing the feast days the way that they were prescribed to doing. All we're doing is we are memorializing them. We're remembering them. We're
That's a great way
trying
to
to
put it.
do them on their days, because not only we're doing them here, but according to all of the Zadok priests, everything from the Dead Sea Scrolls, these things have been done in heaven on these days since time memorial.
Yeah.
So that's at least that's my take on it. So anyway, happy Sukkot, everybody.
There you go.
Happy Sukkot. All right. So tonight, what we're going to talk about, guys, we're going to continue. We did this with last time me and Brother Max got together. We've been talking about the book of Levi, or the book of Levi,
Yes.
which is one of the books in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Is part of the books of the patriarchs. Now, there's two sets. There's a whole lot of scrolls that are inside the Dead Sea Scrolls. Some of them are called the book of the patriarchs, like Levi and Simeon and Reuben and Benjamin and Joseph and yada yada yada. The 12 tribes, but also books like Adam, the book of Noah.
Mm.
It's crazy. These people had their claim is that they wrote this stuff down while it was happening.
Yep.
Which, I don't know, it just kind of makes sense to me. If you realize the importance of a flood, that you would write something down and say, hey, there was a flood and this is why there's a flood, so that the next generation realizes this.
Yeah.
And certainly the people of the Dead Sea Scrolls claim that, believe that. These are the books they had. It's also sort of spoken to us in some secular sources, like the book of Josephus, who talks about the book of Adam, and some other books. Now, some of these books we don't have anymore, right? Unless a scroll is found, which is very, very possible. A scroll is found, somewhere, and somebody gets it, because scrolls are being found all the time. But what's wonderful about the book that we're looking into now, which is the book of Levi, which is one of the patriarchal books. So just like when we read in Genesis 48, 49, Jacob gets his whole family together, and he knows death is coming soon. So it's sort of like his last will and testament. In Genesis 48 and 49, he prophesies over them. He tells them what's coming. He tells them of the coming Messiah. He gives Levi the priesthood. He gives Judah the kingship. Well, it would be, I don't know. To me, it seems naive to think that, okay, Jacob would do that to his 12 sons, but Abraham wouldn't do that.
True.
And Isaac wouldn't do that. And Noah wouldn't do that.
It should have been passed down.
I would think if there's going to be a testament, a testimony to all of this, that it's something, and this is certainly the belief of the people of the Ahad, the Qumran, was that this testimony has been passed down from generation to generation. This is not a Pharisee belief. The Pharisees didn't believe in any of this stuff. They didn't believe in the Messiah who was going to die, who was born of a virgin, who was going to be a Melchizedek. They didn't believe in any of that stuff.
Yep.
But the people of the Qumran did. And so they believed in this book. And what makes it even more incredible, even though this book was found about 1,000 years ago, at least that's the testimony. It was found about 1,000 years ago. It was given to the Armenian Church. The Armenian Church at the time translates it into Greek. Many people looked at it and said, "Well, no, there's so much stuff in here that is just too." I'm going to use the word too Christian, right? It's too close to the story of Messiah. It must have been added to or written to later on. Well, you know what? The same thing can be said of Isaiah and
Hmm.
Daniel, who predicts the actual day that the Messiah would die, right? 70 weeks. You know, he's count the numbers. This is when he's going to die. Isaiah tells us he's going to be he's going to be God with us. He's going to be born of a virgin. Like all of these details, the Star of Jacob is going to come. All of these amazing details are all over the book. Why wouldn't God give the same type of details to the patriarchs before us? I don't find that out of the realm of possibility. I do acknowledge, okay, so there's possibility, maybe scribes later on added to it. That's possible. But here's the kicker. Once the Dead Sea Scrolls were found, they found fragments, and I'm looking right at the AI. Yes, fragments of the Testament of Levi. This is AI. This is Google AI of the Levi have been found in the Dead Sea Scrolls,
Wow.
dating from like 150 to 200 years before Messiah.
Hmm.
So while I acknowledge, yeah, maybe somebody added to it, it's possible. It's possible.
Oh, I mean,
You can't prove it.
but
You can't
that's
disprove it.
you can't. No, but you can say as a creature of man's habit over the years, of a human habit, we tend to put our own little 2 cents for someone to remember us
It's
by.
possible. Yeah.
Anything is possible, but you know that's what anything you read in general.
But the fact that we have fragments of this
That's the thing.
exact book
Yep.
that date at least 200 or 200 plus years before Messiah
Yeah.
even comes should make you step back and say, "Oh, wait a minute." Because if it's written, which is basically just a copy, because when we read the beginning of the book, it says this is a copy of the book, which
Yeah.
means it was written from age to age to age. And and especially tonight, as we go through some of this, you're going to say, "OMG."
Yeah.
That they're talking about Messiah, and they are describing him in such a way as to be profound, absolutely profound. So, so we're going to try to zip through the rest of the book. We're going to be at chapter 8. We're going to get as far as we can.
Yep.
I really want to get to the end because they talk about Messiah in a way that is so magnificent, so wonderful, and to me, it's prophecy, and I think it's worth reading and at least considering. So here's chapter 8. Let me you want to pop
Yep.
us, let me see. There we go. There's
Yep.
chapter 8. Hopefully you guys can see that on your screen. We're sharing this from the firmament.org. You can get the Testament of Levi and some of the others on there as well. I like this translation. It's very easy to read. It's not a whole bunch of the these and the thous, because they tend to do that with some of the translations. They sort of translate it in that King Jamesy
Yeah, I
English.
don't understand why they do that.
I don't know why. I guess I guess
No,
to
I
us it
don't.
sounds biblical.
I don't know. So when you say thee, thou, and it's biblical, okay. Let's.
I don't know. I mean, I don't mind it. I've read it,
we-
the King James, enough that I can, I can get
Not
through it.
everyone talk thee, thou the
But
whole
yeah,
centuries.
no, we don't do that anymore. But that's okay. So this seems to be a little bit more plain
Yeah.
English. So I don't know. Do you have? I don't know if you've got yours up there. We're going to start at chapter 8, and we're gonna read through it, and then we'll
Yep.
comment on it as we go through it. And as we read, there's no way to comment on everything because there's just so much here. But we're gonna try to do some of the highlight stuffs. So as the story from chapter 1 to chapter 7 is, we find out that Levi and his brothers that killed the men at Shechem for raping their sister Dinah was actually something Yah told them to do. Right. So all of a sudden that adds just a whole nother twist to the story. Jacob didn't understand it. Yah hadn't revealed it to Jacob, but he had spoken to Levi and told him what that not only did Shechem do this to Dinah, but they were protecting their mothers and daughters to come, because this had happened in the past with Abraham too. So all of a sudden you get a whole different picture of this, that, wait a minute, this isn't just them going out and just, telling people to get circumcised and then cutting them to pieces. this was actually something y'all wanted these people out of the way.
Yep.
They what they had done is they had crossed the line, and Yah said no more. So in the story, they go from Shechem. Now they're going to the area of Bethel, and they're going to be and as we open up in chapter 8, they're in Bethel for some 70 days. And this is where the story picks up. Chapter 8 says, there I again saw in the vision as formerly, after we had been there 70 days. And I saw 7 men. So this is a vision or a dream that he's having. So Levi is having these visions. And don't forget, Jacob has already called out and said, to Levi is going to be the priesthood. So Levi's sort of going after, he's sort of given us the story after chapter 48 and 49 of Genesis. This is his last will and testament to his sons and his children. So he's sort of filling them in on the background. So he sees this vision or dream. And I saw 7 men in white clothing who were saying to me, arise and put on vestments of the priesthood, the crown of righteousness, the oracle of understanding, the robe of truth, the breastplate of faith / truth, that's the way the translators have it here, the mitre for the head, and the apron for prophetic power.
Wow.
So here's
You're describing something.
This is before the whole Aaronic priesthood.
Yeah.
Now we cannot forget that there was a priesthood before the Aaronic priesthood. It was called the Melchizedek priesthood. The firstborns were the priest. Noah was the 8th priest. Shem was the 9th priest.
Mm-hmm.
Abraham would have been the 10th. So there was a priesthood that was already going on. So it's not out of the realm of possibility here that in a vision, Levi, who would become the priesthood, is being told not just what's going to happen to him that his father is blessing him with as he divides the priesthood and the kingship between Levi and Judah, but he's seeing a vision from Yah as to his priesthood, which is mind-boggling. And some of these things we can recognize: robe of truth, oracle of understanding, crown of righteousness.
I like how they use the breastplate of faith / truth. It's interesting.
We see this in Isaiah. We see this in the book of Ephesians, right? We see these same, put on the whole armor of God, right?
Yep.
That with it you'll be able to stand, having done all to stand. And he goes with the sword of truth and yada yada yada. And all of a sudden, we see some very, very similar language here.
But this is actually preparing us to actually see the priesthood form with the people of Israel after they leave Egypt. This is honestly the setting stone of like, this is what it is about to happen. Again, this is way before them. But again, this is a great example.
Yeah. So if we're getting the timeline right, Levi is seeing this even before they go to Egypt.
That is incredible,
right? It's so as if Yah is preparing him, for what's coming.
Prophecy, man. That is prophecy. Insane.
And he says, I kept this from my father. In fact, he says, I kept it from everyone. I didn't want to tell anybody. I mean, if you really had like an amazing sort of transformative vision or dream, would you tell everybody or would you keep it to yourself?
Maybe because there's 2 things. Maybe someone thinks I'm nuts, I'm crazy, and the other thing is just like they won't believe me. Like, do I actually say it? But in essence, you're like, I want to tell somebody some of this magnificent thing, this vision that I saw. How can I not express the gratitude? How can I not express the sight, the things that are around me? I would want to tell somebody all these good things. I mean, they might think I'm crazy though.
But if I do say it right, people are going to think I'm nuts. I know this is crazy. I know this sounds nuts. You may believe me, you may not believe me, but this is the honest to God truth as I can tell it.
What, you had a vision?
No, I'm not a prophet. I didn't have it. But you know what I did see one time? What? I was on an airplane flight. I was with I took your uncle to Missouri. I forgot what it was for, some sort of, I don't know if it was
Which
a
uncle?
youth thing. No. Michael,
Okay.
Uncle Mike. He's a minister now, the song leader. And and I had to go back home early. Something happened with your mom. Something happened with Sister Karen, and so I had to take a flight back early from Missouri while he was doing what he was doing in Missouri. And I'm on the airplane, and I'm sitting at the window seat. I'm way up in the front of the plane. I know it sounds nuts, guys. I know it sounds nuts. So I'm sitting in the plane, and I'm just what do? You look outside you're flying, and you're just looking outside
That window
the
seat.
window,
That's it.
bro. Underneath us, I saw this gray cigar-shaped huge thing zip right up underneath us. I mean, it was way below us, but I could see it. And I'm looking at it through the window, and my first thought was, what the heck is that?
Wow.
My second thought was, should I tell anybody?
Probably not on a plane.
Because at the time, I guess you're allowed to call him stewardess. I look at the flight attendant.
Yeah.
And I'm seriously thinking about, look out the window. But then there was that part of me that said, don't do that. Don't do that. And I looked back down, and in an instant, was gone.
UFOs, man.
I don't know what it was.
It's fine.
You said UFO. I didn't say UFO.
I said it.
Don't put words in my mouth.
I'm not telling the story.
I didn't say anything.
Listening. I'm listening intently.
I said this. I could have been an angel in a gray uniform. I don't know.
They wear gray now? What is this?
I don't know.
2010 up to 2025. Everything's gray.
but I had that instant. Yo, you better not open up your mouth. Check yourself, because people are going to think you're nuts.
Or, again, if you want to put it in Messiah's terms, he, wasn't ready to open up the scroll. You need the right person.
Listen,
so maybe not the time period of explaining it. You know what? How many years ago it was? Whatever. But now you're explaining the story now. So now I can see.
Yeah, now I can say it.
Yeah,
every video out there shows them.
You're able to, to speak about it. Back then, maybe not.
So here's Levi at the end of his age.
Yeah,
right. Crazy. He's about to die, and what is he telling them? All the crazy stuff that he's like, yeah, I couldn't tell you this because it's nuts.
I feel like that's the only time you can actually say something that's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, like, you can't say it when you're young. You can't say it when you're you got to say it right before you go. What are they going to do? Where are they going to put you? Like,
what are they going to kill me?
Yeah, I'm already there. It's fine.
Well, there's that principle that a deathbed confession is considered.
But that's true. There's a lot of people who do that. They feel like, all right, let me get this off my chest at this last moment before I pass.
So I'm just saying that not to make us all think about, you said UFO, not me, but whatever it was.
I only repeated what Uncle Max said.
Only. No, Mike wasn't with me.
No, he posted it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
I'm gonna put his comment.
UFO on there.
So I'm only
actually,
repeating.
I think they're called UAPs now. Right?
I don't know. This is proof right here, guys. Proof.
So anyway, I get Levi's hesitation. I really do.
No, I respect it.
So he goes on here. So he's going to talk about what happens in this vision. He says, so each one of these 7 beings, whatever they were, I'm thinking angels,
probably,
each one carried one of these and put on me, from now on be a priest. But it's not just him. He's saying you and your posterity, which means all the and we know historically the Levites become the priest.
Yes.
The first anointed me with holy oil, and he gave me a staff. The second washed me with pure water, fed me by hand with bread and holy wine. Oh, come on. I mean, right, bread and wine?
Just interesting what you said, that from this point, I mean, us seeing the story towards the end, us seeing at this point, we have the whole book, so we can see how the generations went. Basically saying man's about to fail. Man is going to fail. There's still going to be redemption with the Levites to be priests. Basically saying this, that after every generation, you are called to be those people, even though you were first chosen, even though you're going to mess up, but way before.
This is way before Aaron,
but
right?
But he hasn't even had
his Kohath isn't even born yet.
Yeah, but
his son Kohath isn't even born. Which from Kohath then comes Moses,
Yes.
and so they're not even born yet.
But like you can see it, like, wow, even he is literally telling this future wise, you're gonna mess up, you're gonna deny him, you're gonna screw everything up.
Well,
But
you're getting ahead of the story. We haven't gotten
I'm
there
just
yet.
saying, I mean, just from the piece of it.
You're what's that called?
But keep going.
What's that called? You're giving the spoiler alerts here.
It's okay. Just don't read down.
So the third put on me something made of linen, like an ephod.
Yeah.
And I'm picturing in my mind sort of high priest type thing.
Yeah.
The fourth placed around me a girdle, which was like purple, again, sort of a high priest thing. The fifth gave me a branch of rich olive wood, which is kind of interesting because every time you see, if you think about it, Israel's spoken of as an olive tree,
Yeah.
but she's also spoken of as a fig tree. And it seems, at least to me, it seems like every time Israel's spoken of as a fig tree, it has to do with her unfaithfulness. But when she's spoken of as the olive tree,
she's doing good.
Yeah, she's doing good. But I'm, because the whole parable of the fig tree, right? Yep. It's bad, so he curses it.
It's interesting.
Just an observation on my part.
There's always good and there's always bad.
All right. So the sixth placed a wreath on my head. The seventh placed a priestly diadem, so sort of jewel. I'm assuming from the translation. I don't have the Hebrew, or the Aramaic where it comes from. So I don't know what I'm assuming. Diadem means some sort of a jewel on me, and filled my hands with incense, in order that I might serve as priest for the Lord God, Yah Elohim. Right, because this is just a translation. And they said to me, Levi, your posterity shall be divided into 3 offices as a sign of the glory of Yah, or the Lord who is coming. And it so happens that the tribe of Levi is divided into 3 groups.
Wow.
There's the group that becomes the priest. There's a group that takes care of all of remember Korah, who rebels? Well, he's part of the tribe of Levi. They had a job. There's 3 different brothers that come from Levi that have 3 different priestly jobs: teachers, the people who do the actual tabernacle stuff, and then the priest. And so we get that right here. He's telling us it's going to be divided into 3. The first shall be great. No other shall be greater than it. The second shall be the priestly role. So I'm figuring the first are the ones who are taking care of the temple, right? The ones who are doing, tearing it down, picking it up, traveling with everything.
Yeah.
The second shall be the priestly role. That would be Kohath. That would be the father of Moses, the father of Aaron, and then all the Levites after him. But the third shall be granted a new name, because from Judah a king will arise and shall found a new. Listen, wait. Because a king from Judah will arise and shall found a new priesthood in accord with the Gentile model. He's talking about the Melchizedek, the Melchizedek priesthood of the people and for all nations. So, I mean, if we're taking this for face value, they understood that this message was going to all the nations. This wasn't a God for the children of the sons of Jacob.
Yeah.
This was an Elohim creating a priesthood out from Judah, found a new priesthood in accordance with the Gentile model, that is the Melchizedek model, as a priest for all people and all nations. How much more New Testament can you get?
Wow, it's good though.
His presence is beloved, meaning this new priest. Obviously, we're talking about Messiah here. His presence is beloved as a prophet of the Most High, a descendant of Abraham our father. To you and your posterity will be everything desired in Israel, and you shall eat everything attractive to behold, and your posterity will share among themselves the Lord's table. So you think about what happens to the priesthood from the time that Aaron eventually is born and the priesthood is started. Who are the only people that are allowed to eat the showbread in the temple and in the tabernacle? His sons and his sons' sons, eventually the Zadok priest. They're the ones that eat it. I think that's what he's saying, that they're the ones that eat at that Lord's table. Verse 17, from among them will be priests, judges, and scribes, and by their word the sanctuary will be controlled. When I awoke, so this is obviously a dream. When I awoke, I understood that this was like the first dreams. I already had a vision similar to this where he's called to the priesthood. And here it is, verse 19. And I hid this in my heart as well. And I did not report it to any human being on earth because they thought I would be reporting a UFO. No, it doesn't say that, but I get that. I think that's what he's saying. I'm sorry. I should have scrolled up for everybody. I'm reading it somewhere else. So he says, and I hid this in my heart as well. I did not report it to any human being on earth. I wouldn't either.
Yeah, it's a lot to even express to somebody. Like, how do you say it without sounding crazy?
How do you go to your father and say, hey, look, you know what? My whole lineage are going to be priests, and we're gonna serve Yah, and we're gonna be able to eat at his table. And your father would look at you like, son, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So chapter 9. I want to try to zip through as much as we can. I don't know if do you have access to this? That you could read it?
It's kind of hard.
All right, then I'll go ahead and read chapter 9.
Yeah.
It says, and after 2 days, Judah and I went to our father Jacob, to Isaac, our grandfather. So they're still both around. And my father blessed me in accord with the vision that I had seen, and he did not want to go with us to Bethel. And when we came to Bethel, my father Jacob saw a vision concerning me that I should be in the priesthood. So later on, Jacob does bless him in Genesis 48-49. But here we're getting a little bit of background that he did this because he sees it himself in a vision. At least that's the way I'm reading this. And thus we came to Hebron to settle there. He arose early and paid tithes to the Lord through me. I don't understand what that means. I don't understand how he did that. I don't have an explanation for that. I just find that interesting. It says, and Isaac kept calling me continually to bring to my remembrance the law of the Lord. Now, we say the law of the Lord. We're not talking about the law of Moses. We're talking about the instruction, right? So the instruction came way before Moses came on how to live, how to be, how to do sacrifice, what's clean, what's unclean. We know this because Noah sacrifices clean animals. Well, how does Noah know what clean is and what unclean isn't unless that instruction already came in the time of Adam or before or at the time of Adam or sometime after? So I don't find that odd at all. It says day by day he was informing me, occupying himself, and in fact it actually says that Abraham kept Yah's law, Yah's Torah. It wasn't the Torah that Moses gives. It wasn't all of the detailed instruction, but it's the basic instruction on how to live, how to be a man of God. Verse 9, it says, be on your guard against the spirit of promiscuity, for it is constantly active, and through your descendants it is about to defile the sanctuary. So he's talking about, sexual promiscuity, which is something Messiah talks about when he talks about how the priest were getting rid of their wives and getting younger wives and divorcing. So that definitely goes on. Verse 9 says, and he taught me the law of the priesthood, sacrifices, Holocaust. I think the word Holocaust there, because we're thinking, the Jewish Holocaust. I think he's talking about the sacrifices. I think he's talking about the scapegoat. Not necessarily the scapegoat as we see it in Yom Kippur, but those sacrifices that take away sin. Voluntary offerings of the first fruits, offerings for safe return. So you say, wait, these are Mosaic law things. No, these were things that were there before the Mosaic law. These are things Noah did. These are things Abraham did. So it doesn't seem odd to me that they're talking about this now. Because people say, oh, well, it's got to be written afterward. Well, no, they were doing these things beforehand. It just doesn't get codified as a thing that gets put into the temple until Aaron is there. Therefore, take to yourself a wife while you're still young, a wife who is free of blame and profanation, who is not from the race of the alien nation. So they can't marry outside of their nation. Before you enter the sanctuary, bathe. While you are sacrificing, wash. And again, when the sacrifice is concluded, wash. I don't understand what all of that means if he's seeing this in a vision, but these are definitely the ordinances that come later on as well. Present to the Lord 12 trees that have leaves, as Abraham taught me. So hold on a second.
12.
Where else do we see this? book of Revelation, there's 12 trees, the tree of life. And he's saying, this is what Abraham taught me. So that's kind of interesting.
Do you think that now, again, we don't have every single scroll that was out there and can't find all of them, even if they are still there. Do you think Father actually presents his story, exactly his vision to people multiple times, explain the same thing?
I think so.
Because again, you referencing Revelations, first thing I thought of, and I'm like, if he's explaining it there, then he explains it to John in Revelation. Who says it wasn't for another person as well? Maybe not as what John saw, but again, just a glimpse, a piece to reference wise.
Well, you get two people, even two witnesses today of the same event, and you're going to get a lot of similarities in the description of what they see, but you're also going to get some differences because of the perspective in which they see it.
I mean, you could see the gospel accordance. I mean, everything, it was between Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They all saw from their point of one Messiah's ministry. And there are a lot of points where it is the same, and there's certain points where it's different.
So you see John's account in Revelation, and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, that sounds like what John's talking about.
Exactly.
12 trees are going to be there at the river of life. And, so is
interesting.
And Enoch sees something similar. He doesn't describe it exactly like that, but he does describe something similar to that.
But he's giving pieces leading up to that one event, and then it actually finally hits John, and then he shows John just everything.
But do you know who doesn't describe anything like this? Pharisees and Sadducees.
Those guys.
Nothing like this is described.
They were not supposed to be in their position. If we have not learned, guys.
It says, and from every clean living animal and bird, bring a sacrifice to the Lord. Again, this comes right out of Noah and Adam, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And all your first fruits of wine, and bring the first sacrifice to the Lord your God, and salt with every sacrificial offering. So these wind up, I think, later on becoming codified in the in what's given to Moses to give to Aaron. So it seems like he's telling it to Levi first, and that this stuff is going to wind up getting passed down, and then wind up getting codified through Moses. At least that's how I'm reading it. If in fact that's what this is about. So chapter 10 says, and now my children, observe the things which I command you, since what I heard from my ancestors I have told you. So he's talking to his children. See, I am free of responsibility for your impiety or for any transgression which you may commit until the consummation of the ages, in leading Israel astray and in the fomenting of its great evils against Yah. So that's prophecy, right? So he's in essence saying, listen, I'm telling you what God showed me, what Yah showed me.
Yeah.
But I also know you people are going to, my seed, you people that are my children, you're going to do something really, really bad against Yah. And obviously we're talking about the crucifixion and just the lawlessness of them.
Yep.
In fact, the next verse says, and you shall act lawlessly in Israel, with the result that Jerusalem cannot bear the presence of your wickedness. And we say, well, Jerusalem, well, there wasn't a Jerusalem yet. There was a Salem. They knew there was a Salem. Abraham knew there was a Salem. Before that, it's possible that Salem or Jerusalem was the capital even under Adam. So this idea that Jerusalem just comes up here, I don't know, or he gets this from Yah. I don't know. I mean, you could look at that and say, well, where's he get Jerusalem from? Again, it was called Salem even before, even at the time of Abraham. You shall be scattered as captives among the nations, where you will be disgraced and cursed, which absolutely happens. For the house which Yah shall choose shall be called Jerusalem. So he's telling him, your father's going to choose this place called Jerusalem, as the book of Enoch, the righteous maintain. So he's quoting Enoch here. That's pretty interesting. Chapter 11. He says, I was 28 when I took a wife. Her name was Melka. She conceived and gave birth to a son, and his name was Gershom, because we were sojourners in the land. These are going to be the children that produced the Levites. And I saw that as concerns him that he would not be first in rank. And Kohath was born in the 35th year of my life. Let me put this up so people can see it. We're in chapter 11. Kohath, this is where Moses and them come from. Kohath was born in the 35th year of my life before sunrise. And in a vision, I saw him standing in the heights in the midst of the congregation. This is why I called him Kohath. That is the ruler of majesty and reconciliation, the priesthood. And she bore me a third son, Merari. So these are the three sons that bear the Levites who serve the tabernacle, but only Kohath serves as priests. In the 40th year of my life, and since his mother bore him with great pain, I called him Merari, which means bitterness. Jochebed was born in Egypt in the 64th year of my life, for by that time I had a great reputation in the midst of my brothers. Now we're talking about the mother here that brings about Moses and them. Here's chapter 11. Chapter 12. It says, and Gershom, so one of the sons, took a wife who bore him Lamni and Samai. The sons of Kohath were Abraham, Issachar, Hebron, and Oseh. This is not the Abraham we're thinking about. This is they obviously that's a name that they would use. And the sons of Merari were Muli and Moses, not the same Moses we're thinking about, or at least we are understood. And then the 94th year of Abraham, Abraham took Jochebed, my daughter, as his wife, and because he and my daughter had been born on the same day. I was 8 years old when I entered so he's sort of just going over his life. I was 8 years old when I entered the land of Canaan, 18 years old when I killed Shechem. So he was a teenager when him and his brothers went in there, made those guys get circumcised and just started cutting them up. 18 years old when he had this vision when I killed Shechem. At 19 years old, I served as priest. He becomes the Melchizedek priest of, I wouldn't say Melchizedek priest. He becomes the priest of his home. 28 years when I took a wife, and 48 when I entered Egypt. See, my children, you are a third generation. During my 118th year, Joseph died. Imagine living to 120, 130 years old.
Whew. Wow.
I mean, that would be so cool. Imagine living forever, but here they are, 110, 118, 120 years old. Chapter 13 says, and now, my children, I command you, fear, reverence Yah, your Elohim, with all your heart, and walk according to his law in integrity, meaning his instruction. Teach your children letters also. So here's the thing. So when we say teach your children letters, he's saying teach them how to read and write. Why? Because this stuff needs to be passed down from generation to generation. So teach your children letters also, so that they might have an understanding throughout all their lives as they ceaselessly read the law of Elohim. For everyone who knows the law of Elohim shall be honored wherever he goes. He shall not be a stranger. He shall acquire many more friends than his parents, and many men will want to serve him and to hear the law of his mouth. Therefore, my sons, do righteousness on earth in order that you might find it in heaven. Sow good things in your souls, and you will find them in your lives. If you sow evil, you will reap every trouble and tribulation. These are things Messiah says, right? As a man sows, so shall he reap. Acquire wisdom in the fear, reverence of Yah. If a captivity occurs, if cities and territories are laid waste, if silver and gold and every possession are lost, nothing can take away the wisdom of the wise except the blindness of impiety and the obtuseness of sin. That in and of itself is probably a whole sermon right there. For if anyone preserves himself from these evil deeds, his wisdom shall be glorious, even among his opponents. It will be found to be a homeland in a foreign territory and a friend in the midst of his enemies. So you do this, it doesn't matter where you are. If you're in your land, out of your land, you're still the people of Yah, which is basically an instruction for us today. Whoever teaches good things and practices them shall be enthroned with kings, as was Joseph, my brother. All right, so chapter 14. We're getting there. And now, my children, I know from the, here it is again. Now, my children, I know from the writings of Enoch that in the end time you will act impiously against Yah, setting your hands to every evil deed. Because of you, your brothers will be humiliated, and among all the nations you shall become an occasion for scorn. That's exactly what Messiah says.
Yeah.
For your father Israel is pure with respect to all the impieties of the chief priest who laid their hands on the Savior. So and he's going to tell them as a. So this is I don't know if that's a commentary that they're making, but you're going to see in just a few seconds he's going to say that his seed is going to turn against the one who's coming. As heaven is pure above the earth, you should be the lights of Israel as the sun and the moon. For what will for what will all the nations do if you become darkened with impiety? If Israel becomes darkened, how does the Messiah come? That's the question. You will bring down a curse on our nation because you want to destroy the light of the law, which was granted to you from the enlightenment of every man. So Father gives his instruction to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob, not just for the nation of Israel, for every man, teaching commandments which are opposed to God's just ordinances. So that's what Israel's going to do. You plunder the Lord's offerings. From this you share your steel choice parts, contemptuously eating them with whores. You teach the Lord's commandments out of greed for gain. Married women you profane. Now we're talking about Pharisees and Sadducees. You have intercourse with the whores and adulteresses. You take Gentile heathen women for your wives, and your sexual relations will become like Sodom and Gomorrah, which is exactly the description we get in the book of Revelation. You will be inflated with pride over your priesthood, which is exactly what we get in the Gospels, exalting yourselves not merely by human standards, but contrary to the commands of God, exactly what Messiah says. With contempt and laughter, you will deride the sacred things. And of course they do. Messiah says, you make Yah's word void. Therefore, the sanctuary which the Lord chose shall become desolate through your uncleanness, and you will become captive in all the nations. Wow. This is prophecy. And you shall be to them a revolting thing. You shall receive scorn and eternal humiliation through the just judgment of God. All who hate you will rejoice at your destruction. How many people are crying from the river to the sea?
Yep.
They're still rejoicing at Israel's destruction today. All who hate you rejoice at your destruction. And unless you had received mercy through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our fathers, not a single one of your descendants would be left on the earth. And there only are descendants because Yah has given mercy because of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's incredible right there. Chapter 16. Let me scroll up. I'm trying to just zip through this as quick as I can, guys. We're running out of time. It says, now I have come to know that for 70 weeks you shall wander astray and profane the priesthood and defile the sacrificial altars. I wonder if this is a reference to the same 70 weeks that Daniel talks about. I wonder. You shall set aside the law and nullify the words of the prophets because it's during the 70 weeks that the Pharisees and the Sadducees come to power. You shall set aside the law and nullify the words of the prophets by your wicked perversity. You persecute just men. You hate the pious, the word of the faithful you regard with revulsion. That sounds like what happens in the time between the beginning of the Second Temple and the time of Messiah. A man who by the power of the Most High renews the law. You name deceiver. Guess who we're talking about? Messiah. So this sounds like to me that the 70 weeks he's talking about are the same 70 weeks that Daniel talks about leading up to the death of the Messiah.
Wow.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's insane.
That's insane. That's crazy. And a man, by the power of the Most High, renews the law. So this is what Messiah has come to do, is renew the law. Because don't forget, what we get from the Pharisees and Sadducees is not the law. It's their law. It's their tradition. It's the oral Torah. It's not what Moses said. They made vain what Moses said. They made vain what Yah said. Messiah renews what Moses said, properly teaches us what Moses said. And they call him a deceiver. And finally, you shall plot to kill him. Well, there we go. We're reading the gospel right here, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Not discerning his eminence, his kingliness. By your wickedness, you take innocent blood on your heads. Let his blood be upon us. Isn't that what they say at the when they pick Barabbas and reject him? Let his blood be upon us. I tell you, on account of him, your holy places shall be razed to the ground. Exactly what Messiah said, exactly what happens. You shall have no place that is clean, but you will be as a curse and a dispersion among the nations until he will again have regard for you and will take you back in compassion. But gee, that sounds like 1948. He starts regathering them, right? This is just we could spend hours, honestly,
Wow.
just tearing this thing apart. But I'm trying to get this to another part of it, but
I mean, just in everything that's there, it's prophecy being foretold right in front of us. That it's showing the gathering, it's showing the destruction, it's showing that Messiah is coming, it's showing that his death, it's showing that what Israel's going to do. It's piece by piece. It's literally telling the whole gospel all over again.
and he's saying it's the Levites that are going to do it,
Yeah.
and they do. Because you have heard about the 70 weeks, listen also concerning the priesthood. In each Jubilee, there shall be a priesthood. In the first Jubilee, the first person to be anointed to the priesthood will be great, and he shall speak to God as Father, and his priesthood shall be fully set. I think he's talking about the first Jubilee from Aaron. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I'd have to really go back and go through all of this. I'm not 100% sure. But he says in every generation, there's going to be a priesthood. And the priesthood shall be fully satisfactory to the Lord, as in the days of his joy he shall rise up for the salvation of the world. In the second Jubilee, the anointed one shall be conceived in sorrow of the beloved one, and his priesthood shall be praised and shall be glorified by all. The third priest shall be overtaken by grief. The fourth priesthood shall be with sufferings because of injustice shall be imposed upon. I think he's just talking about the history of Israel. I don't know how this works out. I haven't really done a study on each Jubilee and how this works out. I'm sure it works out somehow mathematically in the Jubilees. The fifth shall be overcome by darkness. Likewise, the sixth and the seventh. In the seventh, there shall be pollution such as I am unable to declare in the presence of human beings. So the priesthood is getting darker and darker and darker as history goes on. Only the ones who do these things understand such matters. Therefore, they shall be in captivity and will be preyed upon, both they and their land. Their possession shall be stolen. And in the fifth week, they shall return to the land of their desolation. I wonder if I don't know if he's talking about uh, uh, they're going away to Babylon, or if he's talking about they're going away to Rome and they're coming back. I'm not sure. Verse 11, in the seventh week there will come priests, idolaters, adulterers, money lovers, arrogant, lawless, voluptuaries, pederasts, those who practice bestiality. So I think that last priest that he's talking about, the Pharisees and scribes, is nasty no matter how you put it. So here's the chapter 18. I lost my thing here. Ooh, I know it's a lot of reading, guys. Bear with me. It says, when vengeance will have come upon them from Yah, the priesthood will lapse. I think he's talking about the destruction of the killing of Messiah. And then the Lord will raise up a new priest to whom all the words of Yah will be revealed, Messiah. He shall effect the judgment of truth over the earth for many days, 2,000 years. And here it is. And his star shall rise in heaven like a king. We're talking about the Bethlehem star, right? Kindling the light of knowledge as the day is illuminated by the sun, and he shall be extolled. So I think all of those jubilees are counting the jubilees from Aaron all the way to the coming of the Messiah. Verse 4, this one will shine forth like the sun in the earth. Again, Messiah is being compared to the sun. Let me scroll this up a little bit. He shall take away all darkness from under heaven, and there shall be peace in all the earth, right? I am the light. In him there is no darkness. The heavens shall greatly rejoice in his days, and the earth shall be glad. The clouds will be filled with joy, and the knowledge of Yah will be poured out on the earth like water on the seas. The gospel's been going out for 2,000 years. And the angel of glory of the Lord's presence will be made glad by him. The angels, cry out on the day of his birth to the shepherds. The heavens will be open, and from the temple of glory, meaning Yah's temple, sanctification will come upon him with a fatherly voice as from Abraham to Isaac. This is my son. in whom I am well pleased.
Hmm.
And the glory of the Most High shall burst forth upon him. The spirit of understanding and sanctification shall rest upon him in the water. Well, what happens at the baptism of John? Spirit comes on him. For he shall give the majesty of the Lord to those who are his sons in truth forever. What verse am I in? I'm in verse 9. Let me scroll up a little bit for you guys. And there shall be no successor for him from generation. No, there's no need for any other high priest after him. And in his priesthood, the nation shall be multiplied in the knowledge on the earth, and they shall be illumined by the grace of Yah. Both Israel shall be diminished by her ignorance and darkened by her grief. She's been cast away for almost 2,000 years. In his priesthood, sin shall cease, and lawless men shall rest from their evil deeds, and righteous men shall find rest in him. We get salvation by faith through grace. And he shall open the gates of paradise and shall remove the sword that has threatened since Adam. That's death. And he will grant to the saint slash the elect to eat of the tree of life. That's the promise. And Belial, Satan, shall be bound by him and shall grant to his children the authority to trample on the wicked spirits. This is gospel right here. And the Lord will rejoin his children. He will be well pleased by his beloved ones forever. Then Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will rejoice, and I shall be glad, and all the saints and the elect shall be clothed in righteousness. That's Revelation 19. And now, my children. So he's at the end of it, right? He just told them everything. And now, my children, you have heard everything. Choose for yourselves light or darkness, the law of Yah or the works of Beliar, Satan. And his sons replied, before Yah, we will live according to his law. And their father said to them, the Lord is my witness, and his angels are my witnesses, and you are my witnesses, and I am witness concerning the word from your mouth. And his son said, we are witnesses. Then Levi finished giving his instructions to his sons. He stretched out his feet on his bed and was gathered to his fathers, having lived to 137 years. And they put him in a coffin and later buried him in Hebron with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Wow.
What a story. I mean, you read chapter 18. That is such a detailed description of the coming of Messiah.
You can't get closer than that. That's it right there.
That is marvelous. That is just beautiful. So you can understand if this is a book that the people of the Qumran had, and this is the Messiah they're waiting for, and they know that the Jubilee has come upon them when all of these wicked priests are there and they're doing all these sons of Levi are there. Yep. They're watching this happen right in front of them.
Yep, exactly.
So they know when this happens, the Mashiach is coming. That's why John says, I'm a voice in the wilderness crying, make straight the way of Yah. They knew Messiah was coming.
Wow.
Because the Jubilees leading up to it had occurred. And boom, there it was. Isn't that something?
Incredible. Just honestly, it's just great to be able just to read it.
And sincerely, we can go over this for weeks, but obviously we want to read some more books. But wow, this is profound. It's absolutely profound. And he tells us it'll be the Levites who do it.
Yeah. Wow.
The Levites who do it. And they do. They do. And he calls them sons of Belial or sons of Satan. What does Messiah call them? Sons of Satan.
Yeah.
Sons of Satan. Wow. I'm impressed.
Beautiful.
In awe, impressed. I get it. I get the naysayers, but I also look at this and I say, oh my goodness, this is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. I don't know. What do you think?
I love it. Honestly, the details of just prophecy of itself, just describing it, and then us seeing the whole image already here. I mean, we see the story already unfold, and just to go back and see it, like this was told so many different times, and it was in detailed things
Yeah.
where it's just like we missed it. We should have been able to see. But again, which you've said multiple times, if not here or if not in our weekend services, we're in a generation now that we're able to see this.
Yeah.
We now have a responsibility that, we got to get our facts straight. We got to get what's right and do right, because maybe he didn't want to share it. He's on his deathbed now. He's sharing it fine, but it wasn't his time.
But for us, we should know.
But that's my thing. Now we should know. We have the resources. We have, if not close enough, dates to describe these things, and the references, how multiple people throughout the Bible are explaining similar things, different perspectives.
Think about the faith of the people of the Qumran, the Zadok priest, the people of the Yahad, all the people of the way,
Oh my goodness.
that when they see the actual Messiah come, they recognize that's him.
We have to recognize. We have to.
Blessed are those who see and believe, but more blessed are those who don't see
Yeah.
and
Honestly,
yet believe.
to have faith like them, what a joy.
Yeah.
What a joy that is.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah, I don't think I've ever said it, but man, I want to have their faith. I want to be like David. I want to dance like David.
Yeah.
I want to sing like David. I want to be joyous in the Lord. But man, I want to have the faith of these guys, man, to just know it. Like you just know what's in front of you, what is right.
Well, there's more prophecy we haven't even touched yet, and so
yeah.
many other books that tell us of what's going on right now.
That's awesome.
In our
That is so
day,
good.
in the last generation. And we need to be like these people that believe what's written and can identify it as it's happening and recognize it and say, yep, that's my Yah. That's my God.
That's good.
So there you go. That's our hidden manna for tonight, guys.
Amen to that. Beautiful.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I know a lot of reading tonight, but we wanted to get to chapter 18 because it's such an incredible chapter. You guys can download this yourself. It's called thefirmament.org. Just put in the Testament of Levi. You can download this.
Yep.
I forgot, you can the Armenian Bible actually has all of this in it as well. You guys can read this for yourselves. It's absolutely incredible. I don't know which book we're going to do next. We're going to pick another one and just go through this, and we're going to start checking out some prophecies that deal with us today as well. Marvelous stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this for your Tabernacles Friday night, Shabbat Eve. Shabbats are really here. The Sabbath is here. Why don't you lead us out tonight, brother?
All right. Well, you know what, Father, we thank you for this night. We thank you for the things you're continuing to show us. Father, we are grateful to be called your people today, to have the eyes to see, to have the ears to hear, but Father, have the faith to believe that every word that is spoken, it is true and is about you. It's about your story. Father, let us be able to understand continuously that, Father, we need to grow. And give us the courage, give us the understanding to go throughout our days and to be diligent in your ways. We love you for this, and we love being loved by you. Amen.
Amen.
Guys,
Amen.
we will see you tomorrow. We are so excited for our Shabbat service. Again, come a little early. Service starts 10:30 sharp. We hope to see you guys there. But most importantly, we have another feast day. We're continuing these 8 days. Again, we're going to gather tomorrow, and we're going to gather even for next Wednesday for our time of prayer. It's going to be a joyous time. But with all that said, shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Peace.